Hello, welcome to CotoGAMES Summoners Wars Pro in the making. Now, today we're gonna be playing the Hall of Heroes, but today it's not gonna be my Hall of Heroes team, the one that you saw before that is able to complete any Hall of Heroes with no problem because it's a super safe team. Today is gonna be a different team, today is gonna be a farmable team. And it's gonna be a farmable team because we're gonna try to clear Hall of Heroes the way that everybody is able to clear the Hall of Heroes. So what monsters are we going to be using? We're going to be using Veramos. He's going to be the leader. 32% additional HP. We're going to be using as well Bernard. That everybody must have a Bernard. We're going to be building as well, using as well Beladion. That is one of the best support monsters for free-to-play players. And also for pay-to-play players as well. And we're going to be using as well Spectra. And we're going to be using this guy Tion. Tion is actually farmable because Tion is a monster that you get for free, and it's actually the fourth monster that you get on the game. If you were not smart enough to keep Tion at the beginning of the game, I really am sorry for you, and I hope you get it from one of the light and dark scrolls that we get on the monthly basis because Tion is really good. Alright, so everybody on this team has a specific function, but before we go into that, let me explain you what is the goal on this first stage. On the first stage, we need to kill this Wind Barbaric King, because the Wind Barbaric King is going to be attacking all of the enemies, all of your team, and then it's going to be buffing, increasing the attack speed and the attack power of all allies. So it's going to be increasing the attack power and the attack speed of these samurais, and this cast he hits really hard when he has the attack buff and the speed buff as well. So first of all, we target these Wind Barbaric Kings, and then we decrease the attack power of whoever is going to attack first. We decrease the attack power with Bernard. Alright, so let's go ahead and keep talking about the guys. On this team, we're gonna be using Veramos, because Veramos is gonna be a cleanser. And all of the samurais, all of the samurais will be decreasing the defense with the first skill with a certain chance. Also, Veramos is going to stun with the second skill, and we need to build Veramos on violence, so that way we have this with this short chances of violent proccing and getting that stun available as fast as possible. But even if we don't have the chances of violent proccing, we have Tion to give the chances to give again another turn to Veramos mainly, so that way Veramos is going to have available that stun as fast as possible, because he's the only one able to stun on this team besides Tion with the first skill. Right, so Veramos will also land continuous damage with the first skill. So Veramos is actually a utility monster that we're gonna be using here that will deal damage as well, proportionally to his max speed and to his max HP as well. Remember as well that you need to have all of the skills available before you move on to the next stage. Right, on this wave, we're gonna be targeting the wind samurais first. In my opinion, I target the wind samurais first because I'm gonna target whoever is going to hit me first, so that way I don't give him a chance to hit me. Because I know for sure that this Kali is going to be buffing with the first turn that they get, and I'm going to try to stun everybody and to deny the turns. So if I'm not able to get the turn denied, then I will go ahead and try to kill one of these guys, and I'm gonna try to hit them one by one and just deny the turns, and try to deny the turns from the Kalis, and because the Kalis will be ignoring defense. And even though my Bernard is a little bit tanky, not too tanky, but it's a little bit tanky, he's able to hold the damage. And even if my Bernard dies, Tion is going to be able to revive my Bernard. So moving on and keep talking about the guys on this team. Then we're going to talk about Beladion. Beladion will defense break with the first skill, and Beladion is going to be a very nice heal. And as well, Beladion will increase the attack bar of all allies when he heals. As well, Beladion is going to be using the Seize ability to remove all of the beneficial effects on the enemy. So whenever, for example, I'm not able to stun everybody on the team, I try to remove the beneficial effects from whoever is gonna be dealing the most damage. And I know that this Calice will ignore defense, so I try to remove the beneficial effects from the Calice first, if it is possible. If it is not possible, then I try to stun, and then if it is not possible, I try to keep myself alive by decreasing the attack power with Bernard. Now, my Bernard died here a couple of times, but Tion, it's a reviver, and Tion has the research ability, and my Tion is unviolent as well. So, with my Tion, I do the research ability on himself, so that way that revive is available as fast as possible. And also, my Tion will be, any Tion is going to be stunning with the first kill with a fixed chance. So, we're talking now about Tion, and Tion is really amazing. He has a small heal that comes up with the reviver, and if he doesn't revive anyone, then the heal is going to be available faster, right? So the next one to talk about is going to be Bernard. Bernard is the fastest monster that you have to build on the game. And Bernard is really good because it's going to be increasing the attack speed of all allies. The attack bar as well will be increased. And also Bernard is going to be hitting with the first attack in proportionate to his attack speed. And Bernard is going to be decreasing the defense and decreasing the attack power of any one of the enemies. So by decreasing the attack power of any one of the enemies, I want my Bernard, so whenever one of the guys is about to move, one of these damage dealers is about to move, I want either my Bernard to remove to decrease the attack power, so that way they will be dealing less damage. If I'm not able to get them in stun, if I'm not able to deny the turn, my Bernard will be able to decrease the attack power. So he's very good in this team. The last one on the team is not going to be the least, but the last one is going to be Spectra. Spectra is a farmable monster. You get the Spectra from the secret dungeon on the fire day. You can get the Spectra from mystical scrolls a lot. And for you to skill him up, you just need to go ahead and play Timer 3 Hell, and he's gonna drop a lot of Bernards. So Spectra, it's really good as well because Spectra is going to be decreasing the speed of all enemies, and it's going to be decreasing as well the attack bar of all enemies. So you need to build a Spectra with a decent accuracy, and also Spectra with the first kill will be dealing damage proportionate to his max speed, and also is going to be attacking with the second skill in proportion to the enemy's max HP. So that's why many people will build a Spectra with decent crit rate and with decent crit damage as well. My Spectra doesn't have any of that because my Spectra is just a decent Spectra for TOA hard. He's not even decent when people talk about decent monsters with the Spectra. You will see the runes at the end. He just have some runes that allow me to clear TOA hard every now and then. So what is the strategy for this stage? The strategy for this stage is pretty simple. None of these guys actually deal a lot of damage like to be scared of. So what do I do here? Well, there are two water guys, so what do? I try to stun everybody I can stun. And if I cannot stun them, I decrease the attack power with Bernard on the water guys. So that way, the water guys will be targeting my Spectra and they are not going to be dealing enough damage. And even if the Panda is able to defense break my Bernard, Veramos is there to cleanse that defense break, and the water guys will not be able to attack my Bernard because it's a different element as well. So it is really easy to get this done and try to get, you know how to kill these pandas. Just try to Z's with Beladion and remove the revenge ability that they have, so that way they will not be able to counter on you. So all of these guys, they are support monsters. So you know that you have to get decent accuracy on Beladion and that you have to get decent accuracy on Spectra. For all of the other guys, the accuracy is not something that is mandatory because if it will work, it will work. The RNG is not always playing on your favor, but if you have at least 35% accuracy on any of the other guys other than Beladion and Spectra, you will be fine. For Spectra and Beladion, for everything else like Giants, Dragons, TOA, it is suggested to have more than 55% accuracy, right? So from this point on, I'm using the last skills that I can use. Remember, this Veramos here, having that ability to put the dots on this panda will speed up the runs as well. And if you have a Spectra that is built with speed, crit damage, and attack, it's gonna be dealing more damage as well to any of these guys because they are built with decent, with a lot of HP. So remember, before we jump into the next stage, we need to go ahead and have all of the skills available, as if it was going to be TOA hard. So for this stage, what do we need to do here? Well, for this stage, I decided to go for the light samurais. Why? Because these samurais, they have the ability, all of the samurais, they have the ability to defense break you with the first kill. It's gonna be a fixed chance, it's not gonna be a huge chance to defense break you, but they will be able to defense break with the first kill, and we don't wanna take any risks. So, Lynette, Lynette has a defense break on the second skill, but that defense break from Lynette, it's like a randomly targeted attack, and that random target, I will be able to cleanse that with Veramos, and then that skill is gonna be on cooldown. So it's not a skill that is going to be reliable as a defense break. And my Belladion and my all of my monsters here, they are pretty tanky, with the exception of Spectra and Bernard that are the less tankier guys. But imagine, for example, that one of these light samurais defense breaks my Veramos, and then Lynette comes with the third attack that is going to deal damage in proportion to the max HP. Then I would be in trouble because he's gonna be killing one of them. So I decided to try to stun, try to deny the turn, and when it comes to who I'm going to kill first, I decided to kill first the damage dealer, the actual damage dealer that are the real threat. That will be these light samurais. When you have killed one or two of these guys, then it's piece of cake. You just need to continue with the same strategy, killing them one by one, and you're gonna be good to go. Remember that you need to have all of their skills available before you move on to the next stage. It is really easy to get this done when you have a certain pattern, that you have a certain combination of things to do. And these monsters, they are actually really easy to get, really easy to skill up, and you don't need to have you don't need to put a lot of effort like an amazing runes on these guys for them to be able to be used, all over the game, not only on Hall of Heroes. Right? So now I'm just hitting them with the first skill, so that way I can have the skills available for the next round. And this round is actually the hardest round. I had to play this Hall of Heroes 2 times before I was able to clear it. Because on the first try, I went for the dark samurais. I didn't even think about it. I just went for the samurais because I was thinking that they were the threat as the damage dealers. But Amarna here is the real threat, because if you leave Amarna alive, Amarna is going to be reviving everybody else, and then it's gonna cleanse any debuff that they have on the team. So you need to target first the Amarna. You kill one Amarna, then the other Amarna will be reviving that Amarna and cleansing all of the debuffs, and then you target the Amarna that just revived right away, because after you target that Amarna that just revived, then the other Amarna will not be able to do actually anything, because that skill, the reviving skill and the cleansing skill, is going to be on cooldown for a really long time, because it will be like 5 to 7 turns before that skill is available. So the strategy here is to kill the Amarnas, to try to stun these dark samurais, and to kill the Amarnas first. And whenever one of the samurais is going to get a turn, remember that you need to decrease the attack power with the Spectra. Try to deny the turns as many times as you can. Also, try to give this Baramos with the research ability. Try to give him as many turns as possible so you can have the stun ability available as fast as possible. And then you will be fine, because Baramos stun is really reliable. And even though these enemies, they don't have like 100% reliability on the defense break, they actually get the defense break really often, because the RNG for the Amarnas with the defense break for this Hall of Heroes it's insane. So previously, these Amarnas, they just defense broke me like crazy. It was crazy. But then it doesn't matter who dies, because if my Veladion dies here, my my Tion will be able to revive my Beladian, but the best thing to do is to pull back the attack bar, to increase my attack bar with Bernard, to put down the attack slow on the monster, to try to stun them with my Tion, and try to stun them as well with my Veramos. It's really simple. The strategy is pretty simple, really easy to follow. If you're not able to clear the Hall of Heroes B10 yet, with the combinations you have been trying, this is actually a very good combination that you can try as well. And if you have monsters that are tanky enough and you don't have like Tion, you can put it there, like for example, if you have a Brian, you can put a Brian as a reviver that is going to stabilize the and even the HP. And also, if your Bernard and your Spectra are tanky enough and everybody's tanky enough, you can replace this Tion with Kanamiya. Now this is the last wave, and this is really simple because here there's no threat. There's no actual threat. You keep on with the strategy. If your monsters here are tanky enough, you can go ahead and just press auto and they will be able to auto it. If they are if they are not tanky enough, you can just manual it until you kill them both, and then you can auto it right away. So the strategy, it's the same one. We go for the stuns on the guys on the left, and the guys on for the samurais on the left and the right. We go for the stuns because we cannot stun the one on the front, on the center Jun. So we go for the stuns. We go for the attack bar decrease. We try to deny as many turns as possible. We apply the attack debuff to the one that is about to attack you, and then if if you if you are lucky enough to stun and apply the continuous damage, this is gonna be a piece of cake. I mean, you don't really need to put the continuous damage to kill these guys, because remember, the samurais, they have decent multipliers, but these multipliers, they go together with the critical damage, and they don't have any critical damage applied to these monsters because it's just stats for the Hall of Heroes, and they don't have any runes. So it's really easy to beat this Hall of Heroes. Actually, I thought it was going to be harder, but it was really easy, and I have not made any upgrades on my glory building towers, and I don't even have the HP tower max, not even the defense tower max. It was really easy, and I do appreciate that we are able to get 5 of these monsters, and I'm actually going to save them all, because in the future, if I get, for example, the light or the dark one, I would like to skill them up, because they need a lot of skill ups before we are able to get them max skilled. Right, so now we are standing up in front of Kenshin in the Tokugawa age, and he's not gonna be able to kill us with that sword, unfortunately. But we just had a lot of fun while playing this, and from here on, it's just waiting for him to throw the towel. Alright, after you see this, I'm gonna be showing up the runes and how to rune these guys. How did I rune these guys? I didn't only rune these guys for this Hall of Heroes. I used them all over the wall, all over the place, and I just put the runes that I was having the stats that I needed. Right, so first of all, here's my Warrior Barbaric King. He's very good for Giants B10, for Dragons B10 the way he is. Right, so let's move on, and the first one to show is going to be, there you go, we have Beladion here. Beladion, he's on speed, defense, HP, and he's on violent revenge. I like him on revenge because on revenge I have the chances of proccing that revenge whenever a Veramos will attack me on arena, or whenever a monster will attack me on arena. I get that revenge proc, and then it's gonna be a defense break for free, and then any of my damage dealer will be able to one shot. Here is my Theon. This Theon has these runes since I don't know, maybe 2015, 2016. It's a long time since he has this rune. And he's on speed, defense, HP. And here is my Bernard. This is a decent Bernard between the Conqueror 1 and Conqueror 2 levels. He's not that fast to go beyond Conqueror 2, but he's decent, and I really like the way I use him. I was lucky enough to pull up the set, the focus set, so he has 31% accuracy. This Dion has no accuracy at all, but 8% is enough to stun these guys on the Hall of Heroes and the TOE Heart as well. Now, this Spectra, you can see the stats of this Spectra. He even has a 4-star run, and he doesn't even have 200 speed. He's on speed, HP, and even with these HP runs, he has decent accuracy. He's over 60% accuracy, so that's really good for him. I would like to have him higher, but the way he is, he works for me on TOE hard as well. Now we're missing somebody. I believe it was Veramos. Yes, we're missing Veramos. And here we have Veramos. This Veramos is on speed, HP. He's on shield because these are the runes that I have, and this has this defense. He has decent defense substats, and I'm gonna get him better as soon as I get better runes, but at the moment these are just the runes that I have. He has 36% accuracy, and that's more than enough to stun everybody and to apply the continuous damage as well. Now thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day.